All right. Looks like we've got a good number of people on already. For those of you that don't know, my name is Jason with Order Time, and today we're going to be talking about the reporting tool in Order Time. Today's goal is to demonstrate the basics of how the reporting tool works. I'm going to go through and show you how to manage, manipulate, and create your own reports. I'm going to make edits to an existing report, as well as create a new report from scratch. While I'm going to point out some of the tips that I've noticed that some of our customers are using and that I've found that make it a little bit easier to go ahead and do. While I am going through, feel free to ask any questions along the way. Put it in the chat, and if it's anything specific to your business, try and send it to support@ordertime.com. That way we can spend a little more time on it and focus on it. Today's meeting's a little more general. And as always, this is being recorded, and the recording is going to be emailed out after the presentation, along with any links to our knowledge base that are going to include webinars and KV articles that pertain to reports in Order Time. So that being said, let's go ahead and get started. From Order Time's home screen, first thing I'm going to do is just go up to the Reports tab up here. And I'm going to go ahead and turn off my camera to put the focus on the presentation.
Hey, Jason, can you hit your fan too? I think I'm catching your fan in the back of your microphone.
How's that?
Yep, better.
All right, good deal. All right, so from the Reports tab, the report I'm going to go ahead and manage today is the standard ship doc and customer return detail. From the Reports tab, you notice we've got 3 tabs across the top. The frequently run is going to show you anything that you run on a regular basis. My reports are any reports that you've created under your user profile. And all reports is going to include the reports that Order Time has added as defaults and any reports that anybody in your company have added to Order Time. So I'm going to scroll down and choose the one that Order Time has built, the ship doc and customer return report. And I'm going to make a couple edits to this. We obviously have a lot of data here, but I want to look at a few specific things. So I'm going to customize this report using the Customize button up here. The first thing I want to point out is we have multiple types of reports. We've got a tabular report, which is going to show a lot more detail. A summary report is just going to show you a generalization of what's going on. And then you can also have a pivot table report. That'll allow you to look at like sales by month, that type of situation. All right, so when I go back and look at this report, to me, this is a lot of information. So what I want to do is I want to clean up the appearance of this report. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a section. To me, it makes the most sense to section the ship doc report by the ship doc number. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the tabs across the top here and go to the Columns tab. I'm going to go to the ship doc number column. When I select it, I get this box down here at the bottom. I'm going to check this box to make it a section. Now that I've made that a section, I'm going to go back and I'm going to take a look at the report to see what that does. So what it's done is it's taken the ship doc number and made it a section. That's the blue line. Or it's the transaction number, and it made it a line. So I'm going to go back to Customize Report. You notice I have multiple tran types here. I only want to look at my ship docs for the purpose of this. So I'm going to come in and Customize. And I'm going to add a filter. I'm going to go to my... I'm going to add an additional table because I want to have that specific tran type showing. Give me 1 second. All right, so I'm going to go to Columns, Ship Doc and Return.
Tran type is not a table. Just
right, it's under the Ship Doc, yeah. So I'm going to go to the filters. I'm going to go to Ship Doc Customer Returns. I'm going to scroll down and find Tran type. There it is. And I'm just going to drag it into the table here. And I'm going to choose to only see my ship docs. Then I'm going to view. Now you notice I've got my ship doc number. It's showing me it's just ship docs. But I want to come through and I want to make some more changes to this. I want to clean up the appearance a little bit more. So I'm going to add a few more detail columns here to this section just to clean up the appearance. To do that, I'm going to come here and I'm going to choose the ship doc date and I'm going to add it to the section with the number. I'm not going to create a new section. I'm just going to add it to the existing one. And watch the change that that makes. So now I've got the ship doc number and I've got the date. I can do the same with any other data fields if I want to. I can also reorganize my columns. To reorganize them, all I'm going to do is click on it and drag it. So I'm going to move this unit of measure up in front of the description and let go. And then I'm going to view. We see we've got our item and our unit of measure. Now, this unit of measure column, the column header is abbreviation. I can change that by altering the caption. So I'm going to go back in and customize the report. I'm going to click on the columns tab here. I'm going to find that data field, units of measure, abbreviation. I'm going to change the caption to units of measure. You see it shows me the caption that's going to be displaying, and I'll hit view, and we see it here. Now, I also want to make a couple changes here. I only want to see the ship docs that are closed. So I'm going to come up and I'm going to customize a report. I'm going to go to filters. And I'm going to go into doc status. And I'm going to drag in the data point of name. Now down here at the bottom is where I can choose what doc status name I want to filter by. I like to take it off equal to and change it to like. It's just easier for me in case I don't use the right spelling or capitalization. So I'm just going to put it in closed. Then I'm going to come up here and hit view. So now these are all my closed ship docs. All right. Now, if you'll notice over here, we have the Ext column. This Ext column is quantity times price. And you'll notice at the bottom of each section, I've got it summed. When you go to customize report, and I click on that data field by going to the columns tab and then finding Ext, you'll notice I have a summary function. It's set to sum. I'm going to change this back to none just so you can see the difference. You see there's no summed total. And go back to customize report. I'm going to add it back. And I'm going to change the summary function to sum. Click off the line, and I'm going to view. And there's the sum. Now, if I scroll all the way down, I can see the sum for all of the ship docs that are displaying on my screen. All right. So that's kind of the basics on how to manipulate an existing report. Does anybody have any questions on that?
Yeah, there's one question in chat. Does the column size shrink if the unit of measure caption is set to UM instead of the whole, like how it says units of measure?
Gotcha. Let's take a look at it. I'm going to hit customize. I'm going to go back into columns. I'm going to choose that data field, and I'm going to change that caption. I have to click off the line to make sure it saves. You see the change was made here. And then I'm going to hit view. So you notice the line did shrink down some, that column. Now, if this were my report personally, I would move more data points up to the section just to clean it up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and do that just so we can. If anybody has any questions, go ahead and throw it in the chat while I'm doing this. I'm going to move my customer's name up there. I'm going to, I don't need this tran type because I already filtered by tran type. So I'm just going to remove that column. Document status, I've already filtered by that. So I'm going to remove that column. Customer PO I want to keep. I don't need to know if it's shipped or not because I've got it set to closed. So I removed that column. I think that looks pretty good. Let's hit view now. And you see it's a little bit cleaner. Notice I don't have any customer POs. This is my test file. All right, that's pretty straightforward. Does anybody have any questions with making changes to an existing report? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move on. We're going to create a new report from scratch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back up to the reports button. And the report I'm going to build is going to be a sales order and quotes report, but I just want to see the open items I have on existing sales orders. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this new report button. Once I choose new report, it's asking me what data fields do I want to start with. I'm going to start with my sales orders. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drag in tables first. You can't pull data points without having tables, so I've got to pick tables. I know I want the sales order information, so I'm going to drag that table in. I'm going to want my customer's information. I want to know what items are on those sales orders because remember, this report's going to show me only the open items, only the sales orders that contain open items, and only the open items on that. For my report, I don't need the open item line dates, so I'm going to skip that. But I do want to add in the doc status. So I'm going to scroll down, find that table, and I'm going to drag that in. Now that I have my tables on here, you know what else I want? I want the items table. Okay. I think I have all the tables I need, so I'm going to go to the columns and I'm going to start adding data points for my report. The first thing I'm going to add in is my sales order information. So I want the date. I want the sales order number. Let's scroll down. I'm going to want the, I think that's it off of this. I'm going to go and pull my customer information. Notice I click the table on this list on the left. It gives me a drop down, shows me all the data points. I want the full name of my customer. Once I get all the fields on here that I want, then I can reorganize it, section it, things like that. It'll make it easier for me. I want the item information. So I'm going to go and I'm going to pull the item name. I'm going to do name number. Scroll back up, collapse this table. I want to know how many items I ordered or that were ordered on the sales order. So I'm going to choose quantity. And I also want to know what's open on this sales order. So I'm going to choose open quantity. All right. Now I'm going to scroll back up. I'm going to collapse that. Let's take a look and see what we've got so far. I'm going to hit view. So I have my order date, my order number. I have my customer name. This is my item name, but it's not showing. Let's take a look why. Customize report. I'm going to go to the tables tab. Here's my items. Notice the join. The join is set to additional fee. I don't want to see the additional fee. I want to see the actual item. So I'm going to come down here, the item that was on the sales order. I'm going to choose a different join table. Just making that change, I'm going to go back and hit view. And notice it's a little bit different here. We've got all our actual items. Okay. I'm going to go back in and customize this. I've got my quantity and my open quantity. I'm going to go in and customize. I'm going to clean this up and make the appearance a little better. I'm going to section by order number. So I select the order number data point, section. I'm going to move the date up there because I don't need to see that on the line. And I'm going to put the customer's name up there. And let's take a look and see what we've got. So now I've got my sales order number 1 on this date for this customer has these items, these quantities, these open quantities. I haven't shipped out any. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and customize this report. I only want to see the open quantities. So I don't want to see this item because it's been shipped out. See the open quantities at 0? So let's clean this up a little bit. I'm going to go customize report. I'm going to add a filter. And I'm going to add a filter based on the open quantity. So I'm going to choose the sales order and quote line items. I'm going to scroll down and choose open quantity. When I drag it in, I'm going to use the qualifiers down here. And I'm going to change this not equal to 0. Because I want to see items that have an open quantity. I'm going to hit view. So now I shouldn't see a 0 in this column. Scroll down, and it's all looking pretty good. I'm going to do one more thing. I'm noticing a lot of repeat customers here. So I'm going to change my sections a little bit. I'm going to section by the customer and then section by the order number. So I'm going to come back into my columns. I'm going to choose my customer. And I'm not going to use this existing section anymore. I'm going to make it its own section. Now I'm going to hit view so we can take a look at see what happened here. So now I've got my order number and then the customer. I want to change that a little bit. I want to flip it and have the customer on top. So I'm going to customize report. I'm going to sort by, and I'm going to flip these two. I'm just going to drag this up. I think I have to take it off first. Let me go columns. Let me unsection this and I'm going to re-add it. Okay, let's add that back. Now it's its own section. I'm going to hit view. So I'm going to scroll down. So for this customer, Andrew, we've got sales order 51, 80, 86, 91, 103, 110. Andrew's been ordering a lot of things in my test file. All right. Do we have any questions on how to create your own report? Dragging in tables, picking data points, setting filters, and sorting?
To ask a question in chat, you can just click on the bottom right. There's a chat icon next to the triangle, square, circle icon, and you can type in there. Or alternatively, you could unmute to ask your question.
Can column headings be economized so they don't print on each order? I'm not sure I'm following the question.
Like, can you just have like a column headings across the top of a page or something like that? There's a lot.
So it wouldn't apply multiple times here?
Yeah, there's a lot of empty space that, you know, keeps repeating the column headings of quantity, open quantity, name and number. I don't know if those are just because the report writer forces that on every single. It seems like the report might be
right.
60 pages instead of like 40.
Right. I'm following what you're saying. Unfortunately, no, just because it's for each section. I'm not aware of a way that we can remove the column headers.
Okay,
from
that's
each
fine.
section.
That's fine. I just thought I'd ask. Okay.
Yeah, no problem. Any other questions? I'm going to come in here and customize this. I don't like having name number displayed, so I'm going to come in here and just change that to item by changing the caption. View. Any other questions? Did I do that good of a job teaching?
Yeah, so we've given an example of how to edit a report that already exists and how to create a new report from scratch. Are there any specific use cases anyone can think of that maybe you want to know about a report that exists for that?
Now, one of the things I want to point out while we're waiting is if I want to save this report, I'm going to open a new tab real quick just so you can see before I go ahead and make this change. Notice in the all reports, all these reports that are here, I like to, anytime I create a new report and I want to save it, I like to change the naming convention just a little bit so it stands out. So what I usually recommend is if you hit save as, I like to put my report name in all caps, just because it's going to stand out a little more. So I'm going to hit save. I'm going to come back and refresh this page. And then I'm going to scroll down and find that. And it stands out a little bit more. I've also seen where people will save it and put in their company name first. So my test file name is Striker Soccer. So I'm just going to put in Striker hyphen and then report name. Just so it stands out a little bit different. Because if I create the report, which I did, it'll show under my reports. But if anybody on my team wants to look at it, they'll have to view it from all reports. And they've got to scroll down here and try and find it. So we want it to stand out a little bit. I hit refresh, and you see there it is. We can also do things like, I have the refresh, customize. There we go. So I can come in here and I can set it so it's only showing certain customers. I'm going to go down here and choose name. Like, again, just in case I mess up the spelling, if I'm close, it'll give me a good shot at getting it. Okay, so this is only for Andrew. Now I could save this report and save it report name by customer, and then change that customer each time I come in. That way I can look at Andrew today, I could look at Dante the next day or later. That way I don't have to recreate the report each time. I would just customize, go to filters, and put in a different customer's name. Dante doesn't have any open orders. I see a question came in. Can you give a quick explanation of the tables, data points, etc.? Understand where the data is coming from. Yeah, I can give you a little bit of detail there. So these tables are the tables of information from order time. For instance, the items. This data point is all the item information from your individual items. So I'm going to use this tab that's already open. I'm going to go and look at my items real quick. I'm just going to pull, here's an item. I'm going to click edit. Maybe. There we go. So this is a bad choice because this one's a kit. Let me choose a different item here. Let's go to my items list and choose a part. All right, let's just choose this part. I'm going to click edit. So I have all these different data fields. When I come in here to customize the report, I'm going to click on columns. You have to click on columns to be able to expand these tables that you've selected. I'm going to click on items, and all these fields are fields that I'm seeing on the item itself. So the same thing's going to happen if I want to look at the sales order information. These are all fields from sales orders themselves. So here's a sales order. I have my customer, my date, my promise date, my customer PO, my contact. If I go back into the reports and look at this table, I can find all those fields here. Now, it is important to remember the sales orders and quotes are different data points than the sales order quote line items. This is going to be the item information specific. So this down here, this here. Whereas this table, the sales orders and quotes, is going to be the header section, the details, the custom fields. I hope that helps answer that page. And Kurt, try to make a hand count list with all items in our database, but was not able to add the inventory status on hand. Try to make a hand count list with all the items in the database. I was not able to add the inventory status on hand. We do have a separate report that's already created. I'm going to jump to that real quick. And we have our inventory on hand. Is that what you were looking for, Kurt? So this is all my items.
But here you only can make a list with items which you have in your inventory.
Correct.
All columns items you have not in the inventory, you cannot have in this list.
Correct. Technically, the items list in order time, when you go open full list items, is more like a catalog. It's all your item profiles. The inventory on hand is just going to show what you have.
Try inventory status.
Okay, I'm going to go reports, go inventory status. I have a filter for greater than 0. Let me remove that. Filters greater than 0, just delete and view. Okay. So this item I've never had in stock. It was a test item I was trying to create. So it's showing. This is on my items list, but not in my, if I go open full list inventory, this item doesn't exist.
But you had these ones in the inventory.
No, not this item. This is on my item list, but not on my inventory list. So this is including your items and your inventory, this report.
I tried to do this with Carrie. I was not able. I had to do 2 lists, an inventory list and an item list, and put them in Excel together. You know, if you like to select your tables when you make a list, if you like to select a table, then the item does not show up in when you select inventory item list.
Okay, I think I'm following you. Let's take a quick look here. I'm going to go open full list. I'm going to go to inventory. Scroll down. Let me just search at the top. That'll be easier. I'm searching by item name, Melissa. This is my open full list inventory. Notice I search by Melissa as the name. It doesn't come up. Here's my inventory status. There's the item name. So it's showing here. As long as you use this inventory status report.
You can also use the inventory status list.
Open full list, inventory status. Oops, scroll past it by location.
So, but let's say I have 2,000 items, and I select the inventory status list.
Mm-hmm.
The list should have all 2,000 items, right?
Correct. 354.
I was-
Well, I think it would actually be larger if you're tracking lot serial numbers, right? Because I have 131 here.
No, it's each location. So it's
Okay.
multiplied by each location. So if you just want to get one location, you would filter inventory status list by just that one location.
Okay. Open full list, inventory status by location, set a filter for the location, and then choose my location. Locations HQ. If I scroll down, I only have 59 items in this location.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions on the reports? How to change and manipulate them? So Ian wrote in summary reports. I can come to my report section and I can create a summary report. Well, we already have some that are created, but let's go ahead and create a new one. I'm going to do a summary report and I want to see the, let's do by customer, but I want to see the total sales. So I'm going to do ship docs. First thing I'm going to do, if I want to change the type, I want to change the type first. So I'm going to choose summary as my type. I'm going to drag in my ship doc information, my customer information. Let's do, I'll bring in my item information just in case. I really just want to know the total in my customer. So I'm going to go ahead and go to columns. First one I'm going to add is my customer information. So I want to know customer's name. I want to know how much they've spent. Scroll down and find total amount. I'm going to sum by the total amount. And let's take a look and see what happens here.
I'm gonna pipe in here.
Yeah, go ahead.
And tell you that this is a very common mistake that a lot of people make.
Okay.
Okay. If you don't need the items, what happens is when you sum, it'll repeat the sum for each item. Okay. So let's go ahead and remove the line items.
Remove the line items here.
Yes.
Okay.
And the items.
Okay.
And now view.
All right.
See the numbers, how
Right.
different they are?
Okay.
So keep that in mind. If you want to report it, we could have done it on the extension of the line items and then it would have worked.
Okay. Right.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Was everybody able to follow what Ian was just saying there? Because I had added the tables for the line items, it was actually taking that number and adding it multiple times. So by removing it, it's just showing us the total. Any more questions? Can I change the text font color? Unfortunately, we don't have that ability right now. Trying to do an inventory report. Cannot find the available line to make a column. On hand, committed are there. Chris, when you try to do the inventory report, what report are we looking at? I'm going to go reports. Are you using one of the existing or creating a new one? Inventory on hand. Okay. I'm going to click inventory on hand.
Does not have available. It's not that type of report. Again, inventory status is the one that has available.
Okay.
The inventory report is just what's in inventory, on hand, in transit, some quantity, that type of stuff. Okay. You could calculate it if you want, but yeah.
Gotcha. All right. All right. Is it possible to add a parameter in the report without adding a filter? Setting like date range. We can add date range, but it would be a filter. So let me go up to my reports real quick. I'm just going to go and do a sales one so we can run it real quick. Let's do sales order detail, customize report. So the filter is already here for date. It's set to this date, this month to date. I can choose any of these fields that are here, or I can choose custom and pick my date range. Is that what you mean? Okay, perfect. All right, and then no problem. And then Fred wrote in, for inventory, if quantity is 0, does the item not appear? That's up to you. You can change the report to hide the items, filter out anything that's 0, or you can have it appear. So I'm going to go to my inventory on hand. Notice I have a lot of zeros here. I'm going to customize. I'm going to add a filter for inventory on hand, drag it in, drop it, not equal to 0. And I'm going to view. And notice that that has changed dramatically. Does that help answer that, Fred? Perfect. Anybody else? I think that may be all.
Excellent. Good job. Thank you.
No problem.
Yep. And I just want to reiterate that this webinar recording will be sent out in the follow-up email. There are a ton of resources now for creating and editing reports. I'll send out helpful links to those articles, as well as links to other videos and webinars that we've done in the past, which have shown off special features of our reporting engine. And if you have any specific use cases that you need to get a quick answer about, you can always send your query to support@ordertime.com. That'll create a ticket, and Jason will probably be helping you with it. So thank you for attending, everybody.